Oh, so you sent me the pie charts, you said. All right, cool. So let me get the updated pie charts. I think we're live, by the way. Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. For those of you who just watched the college basketball show, nice to see you again. Long time no see. Let's see. We got pie charts coming from Prop Beaver. Let me get the correct pie charts loaded up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Andy did try to do the pie charts for the college basketball or the pick graphics, and he sent in PSD files. Oh, Andy.
I mean, that's our Andy.
All right, there we go. Here's the first pie chart up there. We're good to go. Prop Beaver's going to be making them, so we'll give him 1 second. Looks like we got people flooding in, and the new comment thing is working. So let me make that a little bit bigger so you can see what people are saying down here. Even as hateful as some of these comments may be.
No, these people are really nice. There's never been a hateful comment.
Usually everyone's so friendly.
Yeah.
All right, so first game. I don't know. I didn't watch Jay's video. I don't know what he's picking, but I know he always takes the Pacers. So I would almost guarantee we are on opposite sides of this first game because I am on the Rockets. Jay?
Actually, my man, I'm on the Rockets today, too.
There you go.
Okay.
Jay's seen the light.
I do love my Pacers, but with Halliburton still in injury management, I know the Rockets are terrible on the road, and I love fading them out there as well. But I just think this is a case of too many points. I do. I think Pacers are the better team. I think Pacers win this basketball game. But I think it's by like 4 or 5 points. I think the Rockets do compete defensively. I think is where we'll see them. I like Houston, but I like Houston defensively mainly at home, though. But because they've been so bad on the road, I think we're getting a little value here. Not one of my favorite games, but I'm leaning Houston.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. And so first of all, the Pacers defense is actually a tough matchup for the Rockets. So this is by no means a bet on the Rockets offense, especially without Van Vliet. But the kicker for me was the Pacers this year, 3-11 straight up against teams ranked in the top 8 defensively. And say what you want about Rockets, they're a mess. They suck on the road, but they're still the number 6 overall defense in the NBA. So now if you look at those games for the Pacers against top 8 defenses where they're 3-11, yeah, there's the Bostons in there. There's the Minnesotas in there. There's teams that are a lot better than the Rockets. But still, the numbers are clear that the Pacers struggle against elite defenses, and that's what Houston is. Pacers also love to push the pace in transition around the fast break. Rockets might have the best fast break defense in the NBA. Well, probably Oklahoma City, but Rockets are probably the second best transition defense in the NBA. This Rockets defense is a nightmare matchup for the Pacers. Even without Van Vliet, I agree with Jay. I think this number is just too big. Oh my God, Prop Beaver's got the mustache rocket. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I shaved a little underling off. Yeah. So in this one, I'm on the same boat as you guys. I like the Rockets, but I think there's an unsung hero here. A lot of people are betting Jalen Green today. I'm pivoting. I'm waiting for the line. It still hasn't dropped yet, but I want to go with Amen Thompson over points here. His brother, Asar, was a wagon for us earlier in the season. And I think that Amen is good, if not better, and could be similarly profitable when he gets the minutes. And that should be tonight because Fred VanVleet is inactive. The only time that he's been active and Fred VanVleet was inactive, he got the surprise start at point guard, and he was incredibly effective. He had 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists through 32 minutes of play. And what stands out to me about that performance is that it came against a Boston defense that's second in rim frequency and fourth in rim efficiency this season, allowing the fifth fewest field goals at the rim. The Boston defense also is first in defensive free throw rate, allowing trips to the charity stripe at the lowest rate in the league. So why is that noteworthy? Because 60% of Thompson's shots come at the rim. That's 99th percentile amongst guards. And he draws fouls on 19% of his shots. That's 100th percentile against guards. He faced the worst possible matchup he could have in his first career start and still had 15 points in that game. Now he's facing a Pacers team that funnels looks to the basket. They're allowing the 5th most field goals at the rim this season. And on top of that, they've allowed the highest free throw rate this season as well. In 4 games with 23-plus minutes this season, he scored 10-plus in each, 12-plus in 3 of them, and he's averaging 14 points per game. I really, really like Amen Thompson today. I'm just waiting for that line to drop.
Dude, the comments on that mustache are hilarious. How much for a mustache ride? Like, they're flooding.
Keep it coming.
Scoop said, keep Beaver away from your kids. All right, so the poll, we're all Houston. This is a Houston Rockets program, and I know Jay likes betting the Pacers. If you watch my show, you know I like betting the Pacers too.
I love the Pacers.
But we are a Houston Rockets program. 61% said they would take the points with the Rockets, but I'm assuming, did you put out a video taking the Rockets earlier today?
I did.
I'm assuming most of the viewers watch our stuff, so they might already have had the Rockets in their head coming in. But anyway, we're all leaning towards Houston here. So Houston's going to get a shot to get in the community parlay. Next game, the Mavs. And Jay, I don't know what to do with your team, man. I did bet them -3.5 and get a win last night, but I don't know if it's the injuries. I'm having trouble zeroing in on data points. I feel like I don't know what this team is. I don't know what they're good at. I don't know what they're bad at either, because it seems to change every other week. Let's go Prop Beaver go first. Do you have anything for this one? Because I don't even know. Usually for like this point in the season, I have a feel for like, okay, the Nets, they like to take jump shots. They're bad in transition. Like I have a feel for what each teams do. I don't know what this Mavericks team is. I don't know what their identity is yet. Prop Beaver, do you have a feel for this one?
Yeah, I have plan A and a plan B. So plan A, if Doncic sits, I like the Nets in the 4.5.
Wait, whoa. Doncic was fully active, I thought.
Oh, yeah, he's questionable now. He's questionable.
No, he's questionable.
Good God. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So, I mean, if he's going, it's hard to pass up on Dallas here. They're 9-2 against the spread as road favorites. But without him and with Kyrie, they're just 3-2 straight up this season, yet to play a game on the road. And I just think that the Nets have the significant edge in the above the break three on both sides of the ball. Both teams are so reliant on it. And I find it hard not to take the points here, despite the Nets continuing to bite us in the ass in these sharp spots. My plan B is if Doncic goes, I'm looking at a Tim Hardaway Jr. under points. We just saw his role get greatly diminished in his last game against Philly. That was Kyrie's return to the lineup. He's averaged 34.4 minutes, 19.5 points per game, and 15 field goal attempts his previous 7 games. Last game, he had 0 points on 8 attempts and just 22 minutes. He sees a massive 9% usage drop with Kyrie and Doncic on the court together. And 72% of his shots are coming from long mid-range, above the break three, or the corner three. The last 10 games, the Nets defense have allowed the fewest long mid-range shots, the 8th fewest corner shots, and the fewest above the break 3 points made. So it's just like, I think it's a nightmare matchup for him. If Doncic goes and he could keep that usage away from him, I really like an under there.
So this is if Doncic plays, THJ under.
If Doncic sits, the Nets.
And if Doncic sits, the Nets. Okay. A lot of ifs there, but I do follow what you're saying. Jay, do you have anything here? Because I got nothing.
I'm all over my Mavs in this one. I am. Even if Luka doesn't play, I think the Mavs going to win this game. The sneaky piece in this game is the Kyrie return to Brooklyn, where they treated my boy like he was just a dog on the street. We know what happened and why he's even in Dallas. Kyrie was a box office superstar, and then they kind of kicked him out of town. He's back, though. And right before he got hurt, he was cooking. I'm not worried. I honestly kind of like it if Luka sits. I know that sounds insane. I know it sounds insane. But I think Kyrie is on a revenge arc tonight. And if Luka sits, man, I would take Tim Hardaway Jr. over off the bad shooting night last night. Right before Kyrie got hurt, the Mavs' problem has been their consistency with injuries. They haven't played. I think they have the least amount of minutes in their starting 5 than any other team in the league. That's their problem. But right before that, when Luka was missing that stretch, it was the Kyrie Tim Hardaway show. I was at that last game that they played together. They both had 40, Kyrie and Tim Hardaway Jr. I could see that being the case tonight. The Mavs are just flat out the better team. They're just the better team. And on the road is where they do their best hooping. When you go and look at the Mavs as an away favorite this season, they're 9-2 in that spot. That's 80% against the number. The Mavs on the road this season, that's where they played their best basketball, 14-9. They're covering at a 60% clip. I like the Mavs tonight, with or without Luke. I think they're going here and ball. The Nets didn't look good last night either.
No,
they're banged up severely as well. I think the Mavs is the play.
That was my only loss last night, was the Nets, and I watched a lot of the game. Was really disappointed with the effort. I guess I'm not betting this game, but I guess I would have to lean. I would tend to agree with Jay if I was to bet it, but this is a pass for me. I need Dallas to show me some kind of stay healthy for a month so I can find out what kind of team you are.
I get it.
So we got 58%, 29%. So the community heavily on Dallas here.
But if Luka does play, I could definitely see what Prop Beaver is saying with Tim Hardaway under, because his usage will be way down with Kyrie in the fold.
Do you think if Luka's announced in, we'll probably be looking at -5.5, -6, unless that's already cooked into the line?
It's weird because the line in this game was like 2 this morning, and then the Luka news, and it's still going up.
Yeah, when I originally made the graphics this morning, it was 2.
Yeah.
So maybe Luka is gonna play. But we move on to another real screamer here, Memphis at New York. And I know that the running joke is, oh, the Grizzlies are so injured, but it's like especially bad. No Jaren Jackson Jr., no Xavier Tillman. That's been the only thing that's keeping Grizzlies in these games is the front court, and they've been hitting some threes. But, I mean, I have no idea. I'll put Grizzlies plus 14.5 up for me because that's what I would do here. But to be honest, I am not laying 14.5 points with the Knicks team without Julius Randle, without OG Anunoby, without Quentin Grimes off the bench. I mean, to lay 14.5 points, I better be expecting something dominant. So this is the way I would go, but I'm not betting this crap. Either you guys?
I didn't even look at this game.
It's
just we're trying to cap a team that we've never seen share minutes on the floor together. It's just like, what is
crazy. For those of you that don't know quite how bad it is, holy shit, man. I just pulled it up again. And they got a bunch of guys questionable. So if you were to bet Memphis, a bunch of the pieces you'd be relying on, like Vince Williams, Conchar, Derrick Rose, Santi Aldama, all questionable. This is crazy. Jay, do you have anything for this?
I say lay it with the Knicks, man, and just pray that they want to hoop tonight. Is the way that I'm going. Ruffalo, Chris Ruffalo, who's been on here a couple of times, he summed it up best. We're getting one of the hottest teams in the NBA, the New York Knicks, against the Memphis Hustle, the G League team of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
It's 14.5, a premium number. It definitely is. But it's the Knicks in the Garden, and they're playing well, so awful loss at that. So I could see this being a lock-in spot. I don't want to catch the falling knife with Memphis. It's Knicks for me.
I actually like this angle right here from Player Prop King. Grizzlies team total under 100.5. Knicks at home have been playing better defense than anyone in the NBA. Knicks unders also 11-1 in the last 12 Knicks home games. So these games have been going under. So maybe Grizzlies team total under 100.5 would be the play here. I don't mind that at all. 34%, 28% Knicks. A bunch of people clicked on the total.
I don't love this game either, though.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Next, Orlando at Miami. Curious to see where Jay's going on this one, because this is, if you throw out the historical rivalry, right? Because obviously they're division rivals. They play a number of times every single year. If you throw that out and just look at basic production that we've seen in the last month, Orlando should be laying 3 in Miami. So that's the only way I would go here. Is Orlando, and I could be talked into it. My stance on this game, if you remember, I said Magic or pass on the video last night, and my stance on this game is I could be talked into Orlando if people I trust, if Jay makes a hard point for Orlando or people in the Discord, I could be talked into this bet. Matchup-wise, this should be a turnover nightmare for the Heat. Miami struggling to protect the basketball on the season. Orlando first in forced turnover rate, something they'd be strong at. The only reason I haven't completely pulled the trigger yet is Miami defensively is actually a tough matchup for the Magic. They attack the rim a lot. They take a lot of mid-range shots. Happens to be 2 of the strengths of the Heat defense. So I'm expecting the offense to struggle for the Magic. But as far as counting on the Heat offense to score points here against a good Magic defense and a Magic team that forces a lot of turnovers, I think you're reaching with that. So I can't bet the Heat. I could be talked into the Magic. Jay, are you going to talk me into it?
Hey, I'm gonna do my best. I'm on Orlando too, but the thing for me here, it's kind of I've just been blindly betting Orlando. Orlando is the best ATS team in the NBA. They're even better than my favorite money-making team, the Oklahoma City Thunder Buddies. Orlando, what have they covered? 5 straight, and I agree with Kyle. I think Orlando should be favored. I said this morning. I know the Heat were in the NBA Finals last year, and if this was like a playoff series, yes, I would take the Heat to win the game and win the series. But here in the regular season, right now, today on February 6th, Tuesday, the Orlando Magic are the better team. They're
Definitely
just the team. And I I gotta take them here. You know what I mean? They've been undervalued a lot this season. That's why they're the number one ATS team. They're led by their all-star Paolo Banchero, who's having a hell of a season. They just beat up on Miami earlier in January. Smashed them. It was in Orlando, but they smashed them 105-87. And Miami wasn't playing their best then. Playing a little better now, but are they really? I mean, is the win over Washington playing really that much better? And Sacramento, I mean, the Sacramento win is a nice win.
That was a nice win. They look good in that game.
Yeah, that's a nice win. I give them credit. That's a nice win. But other than that, I haven't really liked what I've seen from Miami.
I played them again, and I fell into the trap again. I played them. I think I took them +4 against the Clippers. What was that?
I did too.
I felt so. I was like, no, I'm done with the Heat because they got me in that Kings game, and then I fell right back into it with that stupid Clippers game. They got their asses beat in the second half of that. It's something I want to bring up before Prop Beaver goes. I want this up here in case we can come back to it. Antonio Estevez, who's in the comments a lot. If you bet on the Magic, I do not respect you. So we're going to circle back to that one. I hope he's back in the comments tomorrow after the Magic win this. Give me Orlando. I'm doing it. Prop Beaver?
Yeah, I'm somewhat on the opposite side here, but not really. Even though the fact that Miami has been able to shut down number one options lately, they've still been losing a lot, and I think the same trend is going to continue here. I'm taking Paolo Banchero under 22.5 points. You can still get that at -125 on ESPN. We've now seen in Miami's last 8 games, Kawhi go under, Kuzma go under, Fox go under, Booker, Tatum, JJJ, Banchero, and it's not like they're just going under. They're going under by a pretty wide margin under their point totals. And we've seen Banchero struggle mightily against this Miami team in the past. He's gone under his last 5 or 6 matchups against them, averaging 17.8 points per game, shooting just 35% from the field. And his lone over came in that game where I believe it was Caleb Houston and Chuma Okeke in the starting 5. They literally had nobody on the court that could shoot a basketball. So he shot the ball 26 times, and he still had just 25 points in that game. With the full starting 5 healthy, Banchero 6-4 to the under. He's averaging just 15.1 field goal attempts per game, not hitting 21 plus once. He's failed to hit 17 plus field goal attempts against Miami in his 5 other matchups against them, where he's not having scrubs on the court with them, averaging just 14 field goal attempts a game. And with 18 or less field goal attempts this season, 17-10 to the under, averaging less than 19 points per game. Miami has been excellent at defending power forwards over the last 30 days. They're allowing the fewest points per game, lowest field goal percentage. This total's down to 212.5 now. I just think that they're going to make the other people beat them. And at 22.5, there's value on an under here, and what should be a very slow pace game.
What I don't get is take the number one scoring option. I don't see how that's a thing when they it applies to different positions. If maybe they lock down all number one scoring options that were forwards, but how is defending Banchero the same as defending Steph Curry? That's why I don't like with those. I mean, the numbers are clear. There's definitely a pattern. It doesn't make logical sense to me.
Yeah, but I just told you that the names of the people who went under were such as Kawhi, Tatum. Those are very similar profiles.
No, but you always talk. I wasn't talking about this game per se. You always talk about how Miami Heat are great against the number one scoring option.
Yeah, they are.
So Franz Wagner legacy night, is that what you're saying?
I'm not taking Franz Wagner's over. I'm just taking Paolo Banchero's under.
Well, I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game, so I don't even hate that bet.
I like the under 2 here.
60%, 29%. We're a Magic program today, so Estevez up there doesn't respect half the community. Let's move on to the next game. Minnesota at Chicago. I like my pick here. Not going to lie. I like it. I'm on the Bulls. I think they're live. I actually think the Bulls win this game. Yeah, are you with me, Jay, on that, Jay?
I don't have a side in this game. I'm going Prop Beaver. I'm going Prop Land.
So I'll go first. I don't even have my notes up for this one, but I mean, I'm pretty sure. Basically, Chicago's defense should be a really tough matchup for Minnesota. They've been doing a great job defending the interior against a short mid-range shot, against a close shot. The Bulls defensively have played really well. It's not that I'm not betting on the Bulls offense here against Minnesota. But as a whole, Minnesota has not really been performing as well as their record indicates. And laying 5.5 points on the road against the Bulls team that's kind of in a bounce back spot. I'm just a little worried there's two ways to look at this spot for the Bulls. Are the Bulls regressing back to being the horse shit that they were earlier in the season, or did they just have a couple rough games and this is a perfect bounce back spot? I think it's the latter. I think the Bulls have shown me in the last month and a half that they're a pretty good team. They're 7 through 10 in the Eastern Conference, in about that range. We're talking about getting 5.5 points. With Minnesota's kind of on my fade list right now, not because I think they're a bad team. I just think they're always overpriced. And this is another instance where I think Minnesota's overpriced. I think the numbers point to a low-scoring, close game. I think this game comes down to the wire. So holding 5.5 points with the home team is just going to be a valuable bet to have. I'm on Chicago, definitely. Either you guys? Jay said you're passing on this one. Probably.
Yeah, I don't like this game personally. Because these two teams, they're 50-50 ATS more often than not. I'm with Kyle. Minnesota is more often than overvalued.
They're just
really
overpriced. They're overpriced.
Yeah, really good winning team, but that's why they're 50-50 ATS, because they're overpriced more often than not. What I do like tonight, though, and it's not really a basketball reasoning, I like Anthony Edwards points over. In the town of Michael Jordan, his clone, everybody's referring him to. I just think he goes off. Caruso, also game time decision for this basketball game. I think that's huge. We know Caruso, really great defender. If Caruso don't play, I could really see my guy Anthony Edwards going for like 30 to 40 tonight. Does that mean the Timberwolves cover? Of course not. That's not what that means. We saw Cat go for 60 and then lost outright to Charlotte. But I think Anthony Edwards has a really nice night in Chicago tonight. I would look at his points over.
Yeah, and Luka scored 73 and almost lost that one. Hawks gave you guys
Booker
a run.
scored 63 and lost. So.
Yep, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Prop Beaver, do you have a move here?
Yeah, I did your favorite. I made a builder. It's a big man builder. I'm betting on Vucevic.
Wait,
and
you're calling this a
here.
big man builder?
Well, what are those? Those are big men.
Just
and this is a
explain
builder.
it.
So it's the big man builder. We got Gobert 12 plus rebounds, Vucevic to get a 3. The big man builder has now cashed their last 10 of 11 matchups against each other. In these matchups, Gobert has sunned Vucevic on the glass, averaging 17 rebounds per game. He had 19, 20, and 19 his last 3 against Vucevic. And then Vucevic is averaging 2.1 3-pointers made per game, which the total's at 0.5 tonight. Juiced minus 250. Definitely expect him to get one on the board. I expect a competitive game here, and with 30 plus minutes, Gobert's over his last 12 or 13 on the road. Gobert's likely going to deploy his signature drop coverage, and that keeps him both closer to the rack for rebounds and gives Vucevic more space on the perimeter with time to gather and fire. Vucevic had 3+ 3-point attempts in all of his 11 games against Gobert, and has had 5+ 3-point attempts his last 6 to 7 against Gobert. With 3+ 3-point attempts, Vooch is cashing at a 75% rate this year. With 5+, that jumps to 85%. And on top of that, he's 16-4 without Levine this season. Centers with 3+ 3-point attempts against the T-Wolves are 14-2 to hitting a 3, averaging 1.8. I just think that this continues to be profitable. We're getting it at plus money. I see zero reason to really lean away from it here. So just going to keep riding the train with these two guys doing what they do.
Someone said
that.
Prop Beaver just likes big men.
I mean, not wrong.
Also, someone said Prop Beaver has a crush on Vucevic. Trust me, no, he doesn't. He hates Vucevic.
He's like my most hated basketball player in the history of ever.
He hates
It's for this
Vucevic.
exact reason. He doesn't like attacking the rim. He'd rather sit outside. Good. Sit outside, stay away from Rudy, shoot the 3-point.
That's what you need for your big man builder. All right, so we're a Bulls program. 47%, 38% on Chicago. Bulls money line with a shot of getting in the community parlay. I like it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think the Bulls win. Well, I think it comes down to the very last possession of the game, foul shots. Oklahoma City at Utah, and I know Jay's in a blender on this one. You have to choose between your beloved Thunder and fading the Jazz at home.
I know. It's a tough one, man.
Now, normally, I'd be the one taking the Jazz here, but actually, I took Oklahoma City.
Ooh.
As did I.
Did you really? Okay. Wow. let's get the picks up and talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'm not big on the Oklahoma City Thunder right now, the way they're playing right now. And it's not even. it's more of a fate of the Jazz defense. They look so bad. And also, this is usually a tough place to play, maybe for 29 or 28 other teams, but not the Thunder. Thunder are 9-2 against the spread their last 11 trips to Utah. They own the Jazz here. I think that this is a little bit of the term that gets thrown around the Discord all the time is fake sharp. I think the Jazz play is just a little bit like trying too hard to get there. Oklahoma City, 1-4 against the spread in the last 5. Let's get back on track with a terrible Utah Jazz defense that, number one, cannot defend the fast break. How do you bet a team that can't defend the fast break against the Thunder? They run the fast break more than any other team in the NBA. It's actually not close. All they do is push the tempo on you. It's a terrible matchup for the Jazz. And also, the weakness of the Jazz defense is defending those long three-point shots out on the perimeter, the above-the-break threes, right? Now, if we were recording this a month ago, I'd be like, oh, that's not the greatest matchup for Oklahoma City because they like to attack the interior, right? Well, actually, Oklahoma City, the offense hasn't looked the same recently, but the three-point shooting actually has improved. If you look at the last 10 games, the last 5 games, OKC's actually in the top 12, top 7 three-point shooting team from above the break. Oklahoma City's been hitting those shots. It's driving to the paint that's really that's really gone down a little bit for the Thunder, which is fine here because that's the strength of the Jazz defense is protecting the interior. As long as the outside shots are falling for the Thunder, and they have been, I think they should win and cover this number. Jay, you said you agree with that.
I'm on the Thunder buddies as well, man. The Thunder are no longer just the best, like one of the best money-making teams in the league. They are one of the best teams just flat out in the NBA. Just straight up, they're one of the best teams. And when I love betting Utah and Utah. I love betting Utah and Utah. What are they hitting at, like a 75% clip
17-5, I think, or something crazy.
It's insane. But because of that, I believe they're a little overvalued. And the Thunder are 20 games above 500. The Jazz are a 500 basketball team. Here's the other part of this. The Jazz, they've lost 3 of their last 4. Got beat up by Brooklyn. New York beat them up. Then they came home where they ball out, and we saw a guard, Tyrese Maxey, come in there and give them hell, 51. Now, you're telling me and Ruffalo were talking about this morning, the MVP favorite behind Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, can't come in there and do the exact same? Get busy on these boys on this terrible defense? The Thunder, like Kyle said, they own the Jazz. The Thunder, the numbers suggest they hoop on the road. We love taking the Thunder. Thunder buddies for life. I know their bench is a little concerning, a lot of game time decisions, but I think it's a little roster manipulation. We know what happens in the NBA.
Well, when I was looking, they were all mostly probables.
Exactly.
And then there's a lot of the bench as well.
Exactly. So and the thing is, I had the Jazz in that last game, and I was pulling my eyes out for the second and the third quarter. Luckily, Milwaukee was on the back end of a back-to-back, and their legs kind of fell out in the second and the fourth, and the Jazz pushed the tempo.
I turned that game off, was chalking it up as a loss. And then I turn it back on. I come back downstairs like, holy shit, the Jazz are up 10? What the hell happened?
Yes. So I'm with you. I think this is just a Thunder get-right spot. Thunder buddies for life.
And to harp on what Jay said about the Thunder own the Jazz, I mentioned that they're 9-2 against the spread in Utah, but actually they're 18-4 against the spread in their last 22 against the Jazz. They just beat the shit out of the Jazz for whatever reason. Maybe it's the fast break numbers, but I don't know if that's the case every year for the Jazz defense. But the glaring mismatch in this one, like I said, Oklahoma City's going to sprint up and down the court in this one, and that is how you get the Jazz out of their comfort zone. So Oklahoma City, and Prop Beaver is on Oklahoma City as well. Do you have a prop to go with it?
No, just betting the Thunder here. You basically took everything I had to say. Some things I'll add. I remember specifically the last time they faced off because I took the Utah team total over. In that game, heading into it, the Thunder, their defense was really slumping their previous 10 games. They looked really bad heading into that one. And the Jazz defense looked unstoppable heading into that game. And despite that, the Thunder still were able to cover and winning 134 to 129. And I just really think you kind of touched on it earlier. The thing that gets me to OKC is the transition game. OKC, one of the best in the league in transition. The Jazz allow the most transition opportunities.
It's like a nightmare matchup.
Game.
It's like a nightmare matchup.
It's not good. And then the Jazz, they also like to run in transition offensively. They're a fast-paced team, but they are very efficient at it. And OKC is one of the best transition defenses in the league.
Maybe the best.
So it's just like, yeah, the best probably. Them and Houston, 1 and 2. So I'm just really not seeing it here for the Jazz unless some crazy shit happens. I was considering Lauri Markkanen rebounding over, but if I think Oklahoma City is going to score and at a very efficient rate, I don't really know where those rebounds are going to come from. His rebound chances have been slipping lately. So I'm just going to stick with the Thunder here. I really like the spot for them, especially with Jalen Williams participating in shoot-arounds. Should be back tonight.
That's what I was just going to say. Everyone's asking about Jalen Williams in the comments. He's listed as questionable, but he did participate in shoot-arounds. So he's missed the last 3. So Oklahoma.
Do you think it's fair to say that he might be the most underrated player in the entire NBA?
He's definitely that one piece for the Thunder that like doesn't get talked about that they need out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like the last 3 games without him, they've still just been trouncing teams, just like business as usual.
Well, no, they're 1-4 against the spread though in the last 5.
I guess.
So they
just in terms of purely wins.
They're still winning games though. That's why I like normally I would be on the Jazz here because I'd be like, yo, guys, it's Oklahoma City. Everyone's loving them. They're not covering. But I just think the matchup is too perfect for Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. They're going to run Utah out of the gym. So, yeah, I'm on Oklahoma City. Let's move on to let's see what the poll thinks. Polls on OKC as well. 57%, 33%. Oklahoma City. So, Thunder money line, possible community parlay candidate there. Well, final game of the night. And I bet this one already. If you're in the Discord, you already know what I'm on. Give me Phoenix. Phoenix. I mean, this is crazy to say because how good that team is. But I think Milwaukee might be entering auto fade on the road territory until they prove it's differently. Are you on the Suns also, Jack?
No.
You're on the Bucks? You're taking the Bucks on the road.
I'm not betting the Bucks either. I'm taking the total. I can't trust either team, but I want to hear why you on the Suns. You might can talk.
So it's just I like the matchup on both sides of the floor. So I know a lot of people are going to look at this game and they're going to think like, oh, Bucks offense. Like everyone, that's kind of how they're branded as a team with an elite offense and doesn't play defense. But actually, the Suns defense is a tough matchup for the Bucks. The Suns have been playing solid defense recently against the above the break 3. Bucks shoot a lot from out there. Bucks also shoot a lot of mid-range shots. Suns have decent defensive numbers from that zone as well. Transition, Suns have been playing some good defense. So not that I think the Suns defense is great, but it actually matches up pretty well against the Bucks. And then on the other side of the court, this is where it's a no-brainer. The Milwaukee Bucks, one of the worst defenses in the NBA in mid-range shots from 15 to 20 feet. And that's all they do, the Suns. Well, and they're also bad from the short mid-range as well. So basically from 8 feet to 20 feet, the Bucks are terrible defending. And Durant, Booker, Beal, they all like to eat from in there. It's just a beautiful matchup for the Suns. I think that it's not only do I like the matchup a lot for the Suns, but then you add in the fact that what are the Bucks 1-8 against the spread in their last 9 on the road? This team is really approaching auto fade territory on the road. I don't like how I'm laying a full 4, but the line almost makes me confirms my suspicion that Suns should have the edge in this game. Yeah, I'm on Phoenix. I bet it last night as soon as I looked at the numbers for the game. I bet it. I think can you get 3.5 or is this still sitting at 4? Let me check. Now, 4's across the board. I actually see a 4.5 open on BetMGM, so it's 4s. So, yeah, I'm on Phoenix. Prop Beaver, do you agree with me there?
Yes, very much on Phoenix here. At this point, I mean, how the hell do we bet the Bucks? 4-14 against the spread, their last 18 overall. 1-9 against the spread, their last 10 on the road. They're 1-3 against the spread as road dogs this season. 2-6 against the spread, their last 8 at Phoenix.
Ew.
And we still don't know if Lillard or Lopez is going. And if either misses, only laying 4 here actually seems like a nice value considering how bad Milwaukee's been against the spread lately. The Bucks' only real mismatch is that they shoot the above the break 3-point at a high rate, but that has dwindled as the season has gone on, and the Suns' 3-point defense has gotten a bit better as the year's gone on. On top of that, I just mentioned Lopez and Lillard. Those are 2 guys who shoot the majority of their shots outside. If they're missing, who are we really afraid of beating Phoenix on the outside? I know the Suns suck as home favorites. I actually have it listed. Where are they? They're 4-13 against the spread. Their last 7.
That's the old Suns. That's the old Suns.
Yeah, they changed. They're new.
This is the new
Suns.
But
they actually have been covering spreads lately. They've been a really bad against the spread team most of the season, but last 10 games are showing signs of life. And I feel like the books are telling us something here with the price continuing to increase. So, yeah, I'm on the Suns here.
Jay, you said you're on the total. Which total is that?
Over. And it's pretty much what you said. I think what's been the problem for Milwaukee this season? Defensively, they're just food. They're just whatever you want, you can get. And I think Phoenix tonight gets whatever they want. The problem is, I think, especially if Milwaukee's healthy, I think they're going to be able to score going back the other way. This game, if everybody's healthy, I think features 4 of the top 10 offensive guys in the league. Giannis, Dame, and then on the other side, KD, Booker, and if you want to go 25, you can throw Bill in there.
Not 25, bro.
Bill top 25 score?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't really like what I see from Beal.
Top 30.
Okay. But for sure, I think it's 4 of the top 10. I think that's
4 of the top 10. I'll give you.
I think that's fair to say. And
you also said Darius Garland was a top 10 point guard,
though. You'll never let me live that one down. He'll never let me live that one down. But I just see a lot of points here. I just see points, back and forth game. Both teams not known for their defense. I think we get up. It's high, 243.5, but I think we get up and over.
I could get that with the over. Both teams like to push the pace. I like that. Suns 140 points tonight. Let's go, Phoenix. The poll's all over Phoenix with me. Definitely a little bit of a square side. Don't care. I'm on Phoenix. Already bet it. 57%, 25% in favor of Phoenix. All right, let's community parlay it.
Let's do it, community.
Let's get a dub. All right, let's see what we got here. Rockets and Pacers are first, and Rockets won the poll. So Rockets money line has a shot. Mavericks Nets. Mavericks definitely won. Grizzlies Knicks. I don't even know if I should put that in. Knicks money line at minus 14.5. No, we're gonna skip that one. Magic money line and Bulls money line. A lot of dogs here. We're gonna do first and second place here. We're gonna just run 2 polls. Poor Sports Center. The guy goes 5-1, giving out picks in the comments. Loses last night, and people are like grilling him for it. That's what it'd be like, though. It's crazy.
It is. Hey, I was cold for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks ago. I don't know, like a couple days ago. Friday, I turned it all around. I've been pretty hot the last couple days, but I hate this time of year in the NBA.
It's hard.
I do. I don't hate it. Of course, I love the NBA. It's my favorite, but it's.
I hate it.
Well, it's crazy because we'll do the NBA show all year. Me, Toast, and Prop Beaver, right? And we'll all hit about 53, 54% for the whole year. But you'll see the comments like, no, you got to always fade Beaver, side with Toast. Yeah. Like, everyone has these, like, grand things. It's like, dude, we're all hitting about the same rate.
Right. Insane. That's about where I'm at for the season, too.
Yeah. I saw you put a tweet up about the Clippers, and you got crushed in the comments. In the replies, I was like, oh, God. Yo, go read those comments. They're like brutal.
I've been on my fade the Clippers train, and it hasn't been.
That's like Toast with the Braves, just fading the Braves. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that was you know what though? Toast fading the Braves was hilarious content though. Every day, hilarious. Like when the Braves game was coming up, people would be like, "Oh, here we go."
He'd have a certain face on, like he was doing something guilty, like he knew.
Yeah, like he knew he was about to fuck up.
I can't wait. Baseball on the horizon.
Yeah, the baseball live show fun. Community parlay starts with Mavericks money line, Magic money line. So let's go with the last 2 games. We got Thunder money line, Suns money line, and then I'll do the Rockets money line in here too because they got some votes. Oh, you know what? Might as well put the Bulls money line back in case. So first and second of this poll, we'll get in as well.
Mavs money line, Magic money line. I'm with both of them. Come on, community, let's close it out.
Yeah, I would lean towards Maverick. I'm not gonna bet Dallas, but that's the way I'd lean. Hopefully, they could stay healthy the rest of this.
You're gonna have to cheer for them tonight because they in the community parlay.
Yeah, I'm on the Dallas Mavericks now that the community's on them. Looks like it's gonna be Thunder and Suns, but I'll give it a few more seconds.
And I got to be on the Suns, so that's a fair trade.
Yeah. I'll tell you, you take the Suns, I take the Mavs.
Let's do it.
And we got Thunder and Suns finish it out. Someone says when I see the hammer emoji, I put my mortgage on it. Dude, probably not the best strategy.
Yeah, I mean,
that emoji gets thrown around very loosely.
Yeah. Plus 830.
Whoa, taking a home run swing here, community. Well, I guess, yeah, because there's all short favorites, and then Magic or Dogs. So yeah, plus 830. Mavericks.
Wow.
Magic, Thunder, Suns plus 830. Thanks for watching. Was a good day. Our first time trying the back-to-back live shows. We're going to do it again tomorrow. College basketball at 3, NBA at 4. Remember to bet responsibly tonight. I'll talk to you guys later. Let's have a good one.